Hi, I'm Katie Mosley,
Hey, I'm Thomas Snyder.
and the purpose of our study is to determine the effects of training in Vibrams on a runner's 5K time. And some of the questions we want to answer are how a runner feels before and after a workout, the runner's level of fatigue before and after a workout, and how a runner's time is affected when returning to conventional shoes versus the Vibrams, and also the difference in a runner's heart rate using Vibrams and regular shoes.
Some of the background that we found on Vibrams include studies that looked at gait and heel strike patterns, as well as many of the studies focused on how Vibrams supposedly strengthen the muscles of the foot. But we also found a bunch of studies that looked at the negative effect of Vibrams on the muscles of the foot and the ligaments of the ankle, because the Vibrams do not have a cushion and they do not absorb the force from the heel strike hitting the ground.
And there is a lot of gaps in literature. There's been a lot of controversy saying that the Vibrams do strengthen the feet, and then again that they do not strengthen the feet. And then some say that the injuries are actually increased rather than decreased. But what we found that there was really no research done on if it makes you faster. And so conducting this study helped us to really find out if it did have an impact on a runner's time.
For this study, we got volunteers from Georgia College that ran at least 3 times a week for a distance of at least 3 miles. The sample size was 30 Georgia College students between the ages of 18 and 25. We had 2 cross-country runners with similar 5K times and characteristics split up into each group. The participants were randomly divided between the 2 groups with 15 each. The group that ran in just regular running shoes, if they stayed through the full study, they received $35, while the Vibram group, if they made it through the whole study, they got to keep the Vibrams they trained in.
And actually today we brought in a pair of Vibrams, as you can see, the little toes on them and everything, and a lot of flexibility in the shoe actually. And these are the actual shoes that are going to be used in the study. And this is just a view of them.
And also you can see how thin they are.
They're very thin.
And this is like, on the inside there's like hardly any padding for anything to absorb the force of your foot hitting the ground while running.
And that actually was one of the problems they proposed, was that because the soles, the thickness of the soles were so different, that this could actually affect how a runner lands and also how fast they are. Okay, and so the procedures, we first needed the approval from the Georgia College Institutional Review Board, and the testing began after the 30 people completed their informed consent and survey packets. The 30 participants were divided into 2 groups with a cross-country, as said, in each group. And the Vibrams group were given a month-long period where they would wear their Vibrams for 3 days out of the week for 4 or so hours. But they were told that they could not run. We just wanted to see how they exercised in them and stuff. And the other group just went about their regular activities and their conventional shoes and stuff. And after that break, each group would run a pre-test 5K, and during that time we would assess their time, their heart rate, the levels of fatigue before and after.
After the pre-test was done, the control group would complete a 2-month-long running program where they would wear their regular running shoes, while the Vibrams group would, of course, wear Vibrams. The test will be done at the Wellness Center around the Georgia College indoor padded track to make sure that all elements can be accounted for. At each training session, the runners will run 31 laps around the wellness track in their specialized footwear. Heart rate, time, level of fatigue will be recorded. At the end of the 2 months, both groups will run the 31 laps again in their regular running shoes, and this will be the post-test, and we'll look at heart rate, time, and fatigue level. We're mainly focusing on the time though, because what we're looking at here is seeing if actually the training in the Vibrams actually decreased the time of the running time of the Vibram groups more than the training program of the group that just wore their regular running shoes.
Well, that sums it all up. Thank you for your time and consideration.